This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
July 4th weekend represents an important milestone for my Substack as well as the podcast. Over 200 episodes later, I wanted to celebrate with everyone and offer a 40% discount on the annual billing plan for the premium content. Now, if you've been following me prior to the podcast, you'll know, in addition to the writing, I've always wanted to start a podcast because I couldn't find a financial product or podcast that discusses the markets without going into politics and without advertising all over the place. And typical financial podcasts last over an hour. So I wanted to, first I was looking for a content creator that had one that, summed everything up in 10 to 15 minutes every day that I can listen to on my dog walk, on my exercise, or just with a cup of coffee in the morning. And I could not find it. And I felt I could do a better job. So I stopped, pausing and delaying myself because I had every excuse in the world not to start. However, with your support of both the paying and free subscribers who have helped grow this channel and this podcast, I want to thank everyone. And for those that want to experience the paid content, which has both written form and long form unlocked podcast content, I would like to offer this 40% off, which comes to basically 37 cents per day. This promotion will be valid until midnight of July 4th, and it will be only the annual billing. So it will come to $144 billed annually, which basically, if you don't have a calculator, comes to $12 per month, or $2.77 per week, or 39 cents per day. Thank you for all for supporting the content, the Substack and podcast thus far, and I hope to see you on the premium edition. So with that, let's get into the podcast. Welcome back, everyone. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad on Tuesday, July 2nd. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. The market is kind of just treading water here, and I'll cover kind of the context of what I mean. But let's jump right into the breadth readings. So on Tuesday, we had 380 new highs all across the NYSE and 302 new lows. So pretty on par. We had 62% advancing versus 35% declining. 55% of stocks were below its 50-day. That's a little bit of an expansion. It's ticking up each day. And we had about 39% below its 200-day moving average. This also is slowly creeping higher. However, we closed green. Pre-market, we were selling off. I think the Dow was down like 125 points. But as soon as we opened, we started to play defense. And I believe Jerome Powell was in Portugal speaking. And it's very rare. I don't think I've actually seen the market sell off while he's talking. Look, it's the end of it's basically July 4th week. We just ended the quarter, first half of the year. I think the last thing that Wall Street and the powers that be wants is for us is to not spend this week, to not travel, to not get in our cars or airplane flights and go somewhere. And then when we get there, the last thing they want is for us to not spend money on food, dining, tourism, all the t-shirts and hats and all the stuff we need, right? Like they want to keep us in a good spending mood. So I generally think that that's really what's going on. Other things that stood out to me today, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, hit 52-week highs today. So the names that I've been sharing as with the premium members as like safe places to park your money, it's not rocket science, but they're still working. On the NASDAQ itself, we had 47 new highs versus 125 new lows. So when you take a look at the NASDAQ, which has less stocks than the NYSE, new lows are outpacing new highs by 3x today. So that's not good. What else stuck out? Tesla was up 8.8% today. But there's no volume across the board in general in the markets. What was strong? I'm going to just list these out, bullet, rapid fire. These are all percents. IREN, which is Iris Energy, up 13.07%. Tesla, as I mentioned, up 8.8%. Reddit up 8.6%. Rivian 7.8%. New York Community Bank up 5.2%. Restoration Hardware bouncing from yesterday up 4.2%. AMD 4.1%. Paysafes 3.2%. Instacart 2.6%. CarMax 2.5%. ARM Holdings 2.4%. SMCI 2.3%. Freshpet 2.2%. Carvana 2.1%. Airbnb 2.1%. Kura Sushi 2.1%. What was weak? Bitfarms was up yesterday, now down today, down 5.97%. Sweetgreen down 4.7%. DJT, which is the Trump Media, down 4%. Lyft 3.8%. Zeta down 3.8%. Kinross Gold down 3.8%. MicroStrategies down 3.2%. The volatility index down 2.8%. I am praying for a single digit print. Give me 9.99 on the VIX, please. Natural gas futures down 2.79. Free members, there's really not much to watch this week other than the Mag 7. Continue to watch the 10-year yield, which keeps on creeping higher. I've linked in the show notes all of the economic data calendars, the TrueUp.io tech layoffs, credit card delinquency rates, etc. They're all there. So it's going to be light this week. Depending on tomorrow's action on Wednesday, there may be or may not be a podcast. Obviously, July 4th, the markets are closed, so there won't be a podcast. I may post a previous Lesson 101 podcast just to give you guys some content. And on Friday, I will be off as well. So that's just a little bit of housekeeping. And keep in mind the discount for July 4th, celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the start of this podcast, ends at midnight, July 4th. So take advantage of that before that expires. I've only given that price once before. I do not know if I'll offer that again later on in 2025, but take advantage of that. It comes to 37 cents a day. It's just billed annually at $144. I will see you all after the Wednesday session. Premium members, please stay on. I have about a dozen or so charts to go through with you today. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.